Welcome to Puerto Rico English News, the only English-speaking broadcast of local Puerto Rican news and entertainment. Please subscribe. Keep us alive.
Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, confirmed this Tuesday that it had identified all the individuals of interest in the case for the kidnapping of 3 people in Rio Piedras and subsequent murder in Guaynabo of one of them, identified as Jesus Francisco Perez, 16 years old. What I can tell you is that we continue working, we are getting closer and closer. We do know who they are, we urge them to surrender, and we urge the people who are helping them to hide, to be aware that they could also be committing a crime, said Limary Cruz Rubio, spokesman for the FBI. Saturday, October 30th, the kidnapping of Francisco Perez, the owner of the El Hipopótamo restaurant, and another 22-year-old young man was reported at around 11:40 p.m. on Saturday. 2 of the hostages were released without suffering physical harm and after payment of an alleged ransom. The body of the 16-year-old minor was found at about 6:12 a.m. on Sunday on the grounds of a gas station in Guaynabo, Puerto Rico.
A major drug trafficking investigation results in the arrest of over 800 people, the detection of a new form of drug distribution, and the investigation of 43 murders was the result of a 45-day police operation in the 76 municipalities over the island. Local police, with the support of federal officials, detained 71 people between October 31st and November 2nd, adding to 741 arrested in the past few days. 8 of those arrested were under the jurisdiction of federal authorities. They seized 172 firearms, 13,060 ammunition, a live grenade, and 440 firearms chargers. In addition, they seized 146 kilos of cocaine, heroin, crack, marijuana, and other controlled substances. Colonel Antonio Lopez Figueroa, Commissioner of the Puerto Rico Police, indicated that a series of undercover drug buys helped in identifying the drug gang's marketing, distribution, electronic payment collections, intimidation, enforcement, and security by 26 gunmen charged with watching over the storage areas. Those arrested were taken to the Roberto Clemente Coliseum to be processed and then taken to court to complete the arrest warrants that had been issued against them.
The authorities reported this Friday, November 5th, that they had dismantled 2 criminal organizations dedicated to contract murders in the western area of the island, including the attempted execution of the chief executive Flan Escato, Andres Lamas Diaz, whose death was ordered by his brother. What seems like a plot taken from a Hollywood script or a type of crime that is not usually seen in Puerto Rico, such as contract killings, is a terrible reality that has already cost the lives of more than a dozen people on the island, the police reported. The reality is that this situation is novel in our area. We had not come across cases like these, which charge for commission to kill, said Captain Joel Gonzalez, head of the Mayagüez Criminal Investigation Corps, CIC. Gonzalez pointed out that after the arrests by the members of these criminal gangs, they have managed to solve 13 murders in just over 30 days. The assassination attempt against businessman Andres Lamas Diaz, the CEO of Flan Escatos Corporation, happened in front of his residence on August 3. According to the investigation of Mayagüez District Prosecutor's Office, the businessman's brother, Bernardo Lamas Diaz, agreed on August 2 to pay $10,000 to have him assassinated, to keep an inheritance. Lamas Diaz survived the attack ordered by his brother, despite multiple gunshot wounds, including the head. The Justice Department indicated Bernardo's agreement was with a man they identified as Gustavo Alexis Gonzalez Gonzalez. In Mayagüez, Puerto Rico, a victim was identified as Francisco Galarza Alvelo, 65 years old and a resident of the Condado neighborhood. The person who paid for his execution was a nephew who wanted to collect money for a life insurance. But the largest number accused of murder for hire, linked to this gang, corresponds to the case of the shooting death of Jomar Montalvo Rivera, 34, in Maracao. According to the complaint, Montalvo Rivera stole drugs from Alex Ramirez Sanchez, who paid $5,000 for his death. When Captain Gonzalez was asked about how this murder-for-hire gang operated, the officer stated that the leader, who took the contracts, was Victor M. Lopez. He was the one who controlled these individuals. He took the contracts and, in turn, reached out to these other individuals to commit the murders.
3 people were killed in Loíza and 2 others were shot dead in Yabuco, in 2 separate scenes reported by the police 3 minutes apart, in the early hours of today, Sunday. At about 12:50 a.m., 2 people were found dead on the PR3 road, at the height of the Juan Martin neighborhood, in Yabuco. In a press release, police said the bodies of Jose A. Castro Morales, 29, and Juan G. Colon Arroyo, 21, both residents of Yabuco, were found inside a white Toyota Sextra Cab SR5 vehicle from 1988. At the moment, what we have is something very preliminary. What is known is that a call was received to the emergency system, 911, about an accident vehicle. He was overturned, with 2 bodies inside that had gunshot wounds, said Lieutenant Josue Vasquez, director of the Criminal Investigation Corps, CIC, of Humacao. Meanwhile, just a few minutes later, at about 12:53 a.m. in a business in the Las Carreras sector, in Loíza, 3 people were shot dead, in circumstances that are under investigation. The victims were identified as Jamora Layson Escalera, 20, Gilbert A. Quiñones, also 20, and Carlos E. Pizarro Rivera, 26. All 3 were residents of Loíza. Carolina's EIZ Director Edwin Padilla told El Nuevo Dia that the shooting also left 6 people wounded by gunshot wounds. The officer indicated that, according to preliminary information, the injured were taken to different hospitals and were not in serious condition.
Guaynabo, Puerto Rico, authorities hope to confirm the identity of the young woman whose body was found yesterday, in an advanced state of decomposition Sunday, November 7, on a precipice in Guaynabo. The officer indicated that the body of the victim may have been on the cliff for about 2 days. However, he mentioned that the rain in the area accelerated the decomposition of the corpse, in particular the area of the face, the most important. It could be Jaime Liz Franco Maldonado, an 18-year-old girl who was reported missing at the end of last week. If forensic experts confirmed that the reason for death was homicide, it would bring the number of women murdered to 28 in 2021. The victim's father-in-law found the body.
Vega Baja, Puerto Rico, November 8. The police investigated this Monday the discovery of a calcined body inside a burning vehicle in Vega Baja. The fire was reported at 7:02 a.m. and occurred on PR 670, intersection with Ramon Sobrino Street in the Las Piñas sector of the Algarabo neighborhood. The victim was found in the passenger seat of a Honda Accord. Authorities reported yesterday, Sunday, the discovery of another charred body inside a car on the John F. Kennedy Expressway in San Juan. The body was found after personnel fire department controlled the fire of a 2020 Mitsubishi Mirage G4. At the moment, the identity of the victim is unknown. The police reported this morning the discovery of a charred body of a person on Antonio Serriera Street in the Los Maestros urbanization in Rio Piedras, in San Juan. According to the preliminary report, the discovery occurred at around 5:31 p.m. yesterday after a call to the 911 emergency system alerted of a fire at the site. Units of the fire department mobilized to the aforementioned place and found a burning car. After extinguishing it, firefighters found the body of a person inside the trunk. The vehicle was described as a gray Nissan Versa.
Carolina, Puerto Rico, 2 tourists drowned yesterday, Tuesday, in front of the courtyard by Marriott Hotel in the resort, reported police. According to a statement from the police, a call to the 911 emergency system alerted of an unfortunate incident at about 4:07 p.m. When agents from the tourist precinct went to the hotel, they found the bodies of 2 men who were identified as Ryan Nizel Arnold, 46, and Raul Linsford, 43. The emergency medical paramedics from the appeared at the scene, confirming the absence of vital signs. The National Meteorological Service reported Tuesday that maritime conditions on the north coast would be unstable. The chance of rip currents was very high.
San Juan, Puerto Rico, November 10. Superior Court Judge Anthony Cuevas ordered the arrest of LUMA Energy Company CEO, Wayne Stensby, for contempt of civil court. In his 2-page order, the judge alluded to the fact that the consortium failed to comply with the order for the delivery of documents required by the court as a result of the lawsuit filed by the Commission for Economic Development, Planning, Telecommunications, Public-Private Partnerships and Energy of the House of Representatives, chaired by the Representative Luis Raul Torres. Torres has been investigating LUMA's management since he took control of the electricity grid on June 1. LUMA has experienced difficulties since taking over the energy contract in Puerto Rico October of 2020. This includes recurring and persistent blackouts, legal battles and outdated grid technology.
San Juan, Puerto Rico, November 10. Governor Pedro Pierluisi was upset today with the possibility that the police will carry out a new sit-down strike in the middle of the festivities Thanksgiving. "I hope, like everyone in Puerto Rico, that this is not repeated, the strike we had 2 weeks ago. The duty of the police is sacred. The duty to defend life and property in Puerto Rico is sacred. So I hope that this will not be repeated, because we are definitely defending the police and putting action where our word is," said the governor.
The Supreme Court seemed uncertain about how to handle a federal law that denies disability benefits to Puerto Ricans. At issue is whether Congress violated constitutional protections by excluding residents of Puerto Rico from Supplemental Security Income, SSI, a monthly cash payment for low-income, elderly, blind or disabled people. As lawyers for the Department of Justice defend the government's right to withhold benefits, the Biden administration remarked, "Our hands are tied, Congress must change the laws."
Tense moments were apparent between pro-independence and pro-statesmen in front of the United States Supreme Court. Ricardo Rossello, former governor of Puerto Rico and delegate for statehood, announced that he will file a complaint with the United States Civil Rights Commission against the presidents of the Senate and the House of Representatives of Puerto Rico. Ricardo Rossello, who the Puerto Rican people decisively ousted, does not bode well for some members of the Senate and the House of Representatives of Puerto Rico. As one of the 4 delegates elected to lobby in the lower house and the 2 who will lobby in the Senate will have an annual salary of $90,000, with up to $30,000 to cover expenses such as travel costs. The discrepancy is huge in comparison. Puerto Rico's elected senators and representatives, who earns a base salary of $73,000, cannot generate more than 35% of their income from other sources. The former governor was ousted for racist, misogynistic and degrading emails about Hurricane Maria victims.
Caguas, Puerto Rico. The Puerto Rican singer-songwriter Draco Rosa took advantage of the meeting he had Tuesday, November 9, with his fans at the Botanical and Cultural Garden of Caguas to explain why he has not performed a concert in Puerto Rico. The artist, who presented his new record material Sound Healing 1 yesterday, explained that he has not been able to offer a show on the island due to health restrictions due to COVID-19. The singer-songwriter is not vaccinated against COVID-19 and the current government executive order requires that all people who work in a production or event must be vaccinated with their full doses. His new musical proposal Sound Healing 111, invites moments of meditation, serenity and reflection. The production will be available for sale starting this coming Thursday, November 11th.
Meanwhile, the Department of Health reported the number of hospitalizations for COVID-19 stood at 56 November 10, which implies a decrease of 9 patients compared to the previous day's total. On the other hand, the positivity rate of the virus on the island was 2.66%, according to the health portal. The average number of confirmed positive cases reported by the agency is 65, while the probable cases are 38. Health included in the average the results of samples taken between October 25 and November 8. Regarding vaccination, the agency said that 2,554,785 people over 12 years old have received at least 1 dose of the licensed vaccines and 2,315,092 people over 12 years old have the dose series completed. The number of deaths reported from COVID-19 in Puerto Rico is 3,200. The population of Puerto Rico is 3.2 million. This is a 0.1% death rate for the island of Puerto Rico as reported by the Department of Health.
Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Help us survive.